Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so grateful, appreciate it. And we have a very interesting topic. As you guys know, all of my information comes from above. I sit with it for a bit, and then more and more is revealed to me. And this topic is no different, and it is about prayer. Over the years that I have been channeling, they have talked to me about prayer. They have channeled prayers through me, both Archangel Michael and Jesus Christ. They have asked me to pray and to call upon others to help. And they have given us ways to help improve not only our prayer, but their ability to be more one with us. And that is through the light body, which we've already done a podcast on. But prayer is something that continues to come up for me, especially lately. And it's one, obviously, we have come now to want to address. I'm trying to, when I'm, when we're developing these podcasts, you try to come up with some type of format, although I really do try to allow it to just come out as naturally as possible. I don't like to think too much about them because thought gets in the way. Thought is ego mind. So I really try to be clean. And what I mean by clean is not really, sometimes I do read about stuff and I did for today, just to help augment or uh, kind of validate some of these points if they even need that. I don't even know. But I do that. I will research a little bit, but I try not to do too much intentionally because I want it to be clean. I want it to come from above, really. As I'm talking so much, I know in many of the podcasts, if not all of them, their words will start to filter in and you'll pick up like there are some things that are said at times that are not mine. They're from above. But our topic today. So one of the things that I researched was the story of Our Lady of Fatima from 1970 in Portugal, where Mother Mary visited three children from May through October. And she visited them on like the third Saturday, I think it was the third Saturday of every month between that time, May and October. When Mother Mary visited these three children, she would appear to them. When she appeared, she told them to pray. Now, World War I was, I believe, going on at this time, and she gave them three secrets. The secrets were one in reference to the end of World War I. Two was, I believe, not, and I say believe because it all depends. You can go to a different website and the different websites all explain it differently, not differently, but like what the secrets were, they interpret them differently, I should say. The second one was in reference to the start of World War II, and the third one was not initially revealed by the Catholic Church, but then later was. And that was said to be the assassination attempt on a pope, which was not successful. And they attribute that lack of success to the Lady of Fatima, Three Secrets. However, the point of that story was when Mother Mary appeared to these children, three children, they were between 9 and 11 or 9 and 12, 13, something like that. When she appeared to them, she told them to pray. And in addition, on our last podcast, she talked about sacrifice. And she told the kids to do those two things: pray the rosary every single day and to sacrifice. And we already know how important sacrifice is, and it is very important. Trust me there. I would encourage you to do your own experiments and start to offer sacrifices of your own to heaven and see what happens as a result. There's no doubt in my mind your vibration is going to raise and things are going to start to happen for you. I can almost guarantee that because of how powerful that is. That's a huge vibrational indication that you are ascending, that you are raising in your vibration. But then also pray in the rosary every day is what Mother Mary asked. And then the amazing thing about this story, not only is that Mother Mary appeared, that is absolutely amazing, but she also told the children that if you do this, pray the rosary every day and offer a sacrifice, you will I or she will perform a miracle at the end of her visits with the children. And that miracle was witnessed by about 20,000 people over a span of I think like 10 miles, if not more. And what happened was the sun started to spiral and zigzag. So it would spiral 3 times and zigzag. So the sun freaking moved. And Mother Mary was the reason that that happened. She performed a miracle because these children did what she asked them to do. They did sacrifice. They were placed in jail, not for very long, but they were in jail. There was a huge uproar during this period of time from the church to resist these children and what they were saying. And you'll see that today. Anybody that says that they talk to spirit is not really looked well upon, but no worries. But the point here is that she asked them to pray. That's the point. And it is a huge perspective, a huge action that we can take yet again to begin to allow for spirit to interact with us and for us to raise our vibrations, to call upon God and others to come in and be with us, to help us see the light, to help us grow. That's what this is all about. We're here to grow. We are here to experience the density, and in spite of that density, to be light, which is so huge. So often do we get mixed up with the discourse in this realm, with the density. We see all these lower vibrational actions happening right now, even today in our own country and in the world. Things are happening that aren't necessarily perceived good, and yet we engage in it. And that's what we want to begin to separate. And prayer can help us do that. When we begin to let go of some of our emotional senses, let go, meaning don't let that drive you, in spite of what you feel when you see the conjured energy is what's happening here. We're seeing density being brought to the forefront. That's what's happening. Now, on a spiritual level, this is huge. This is amazingly beautiful. We talked about conjured energy. Conjured energy is something that you see, read, hear, that then conjures the energy in you. If you move with that energy, it's not good. We must step back from that. And prayer is an awesome way to do that. Obviously, meditation is mindfulness. Yes, absolutely. It starts with that because, yeah, obviously, if you're not mindful and aware that you feel this way and you're just acting without awareness, or you're acting and you can't control, prayer is a great first step to regain that control, to step back. So that was the first story that I wanted to share with you about the importance of prayer. And why I bring it up is because it's said directly by Mother Mary. Now, this story, the Lady of Fatima, was noted from the Catholic Church as being a miracle. Now, I got to be honest with you. I don't really care what they say. To me, it's an amazing experience regardless. It's a miracle. Anytime you see Mother Mary or any of these heavenly beings, it's a miracle. It's amazing. It's all beautiful. So I don't need somebody else to tell me, that it was a miracle. miracles happen every day on earth. We just don't see it. That the news doesn't tell us about it. We have to go seek it out. And they do happen. We and actually that's a beautiful point, because we do get so lost up in the density here. If we really seek out the miraculous stories, uh I love the book, the books Chicken Soup for the Soul, because they're filled of stories like that. But I will tell you another thing in reference to these stories. I do a lot of research. I do a lot of reading on spiritual stuff. Um, and one of the things that I've been studying now for probably close to a year are near-death experiences. So every day I'll tell you my routine, because I understand that we do get caught up in the density. There's a point here. So we get caught up in the density. Yep, absolutely. That's for sure. I'm no different. Every day I'll come down. I love true crime for whatever reason. I love it. I don't know why, but but I am aware of it, and I know how it can affect me depending on what I'm seeing. For a while, I will come down. I'll, wake up in the morning. I'll start to get ready for work, and then I'll come downstairs to make my breakfast. And while I'm making breakfast, I will sometimes watch a true crime video. I'll do that for quite some time, like maybe a week. But then I'll realize, I'll become aware of how that feeling is starting to compound, build on top of itself. And I can feel that within me. I can feel that vibrational shift. So then what I'll do is I'll either read or do some research on another topic. And as I was saying, I've been doing a lot of research, a lot of reading, read probably about 3 books now on near-death experiences, and have watched an endless amount of people being interviewed, sharing their stories. And I know I've brought this up before, about souls that cross over, and how they get trapped here. And I talked about that, but I will also learn a lot about their stories and the importance of prayer, because, okay, so this is a focus more on a few different stories. A lot of stories where people see the light, or they will go into heaven immediately, but some don't. Some go downstairs, and when they go down, they are there's one woman oh, you know what? Maybe I'll share the story with you. It's an amazing story. And please forgive me. I hope this is making sense to you. I want to try to tie this all together. We're talking about prayer and the importance of it. So this woman, she died and had a near death experience where she went into the downstairs. At first, she was confronted by a D guy, DEMON guy. I don't like to use those words because they carry a vibration that I don't like. And that individual was trying to get her to do certain things. And she started, okay, so he comes to her and he says, all right, if you want to get out of here, because she didn't like it, obviously she didn't like it. And he said, if you want to get out of here, I'll help you get out of here, but I want you to cut down all these bushes. She was familiar with this particular bush that was in front of her. She was in this large field. And he said, you cut all these bushes down and I'll help you get out of here. No problem at all. It's all good. And she's like, this is going to be hard. I'm familiar with these bushes, and I don't want to, but she didn't know where she was consciously. She didn't know she was down there. She goes, okay, whatever, I'll do it. And she goes, what kind of tool can I use? And he gives her a pair of children's scissors. And she's like, wow, this is going to be intense. These are tough bushes. But she starts, and she gets through the first one, and she moves on to the second. And as she looks back at the first one, it reappeared. It came back up. So immediately she knew, she's like, uh-oh, she's in trouble. And she knew this was never going to happen. So she would never have to leave. She would never leave this place. So she goes back to that D, um, and says, no, I'm not doing this. And he goes, okay, all right, fine, fair enough. Come with me. And boom, the whole scene changes. And she goes into this like hospital area, and she's put into a hallway, and the guy, this D guy, says, all right, over here on the left are a bunch of like these liquid bags. Oh, I almost want to describe them as like placentas, still whole. So he said, I want you to take the placentas from here. And he didn't necessarily use that word, but they were that when she said it, that's what I thought of. He take them here and put them over across the hallway in this room. And again, she's like, oh my gosh, this room is huge. It would take a lifetime to get this stuff done. There were so many of them. The room was, you know, however high and packed, floor to ceiling with them. So she goes, no, I'm not doing this. So he goes, okay, fine. Well, and then boom, it all breaks again. And now she finds herself on this road, and she's walking on this road. And as she's walking, she comes across a woman on the side of the road, and and it's like a desert road that she's on, and it's completely barren. She's on this road, yes, by herself, no one around, and everything else is barren, and it's hot and it's dry. So she comes up to this lady that has food and drink. She's like selling it on the side of the road, random, like this empty area with this little old lady right there. Well, she goes up to that lady and she says, can I have something to drink, please? And the lady says, you're not worthy of drink. You need to leave. So she's completely shocked by this and keeps moving. She's like, okay, I don't know what is going on here. This lady is the real lady, is still consciously like, I don't know what is happening here. Um, she's not really, she says that she grew up in a faith that said only the like the highest spiritual people go to heaven. So she had that belief system. And in her near death experience, she basically manifested that belief, which is, again, the power of prayer is coming in here. She and like throughout her whole life believed a certain thing and acted in that way, which manifested for her in her near death experience. So as she's walking again, she sees a group of people, and they did not look good. It did not look like a good situation. And they were just moving across the street like zombies almost. And she says, all right, I'm going to try to like kind of sneak by them and see if they, see if I can almost act like them and sneak by them. And as she's walking through them, she's kind of like, okay, getting midway point and all's good. And then all of a sudden they notice her. And then they attack her in this near death experience. And I won't get into the details of the attack, but ultimately they let her go. They get off her, and she's a little traumatized. But there's this leader that comes up, says, okay, get up. And she gets up and she goes, all right, you're one of us now. And she's like, one of who? I don't even know where I'm at, what I'm doing. And she says, get in line, follow me. So now she's in line with like all these people that she was just trying to pass, and they're all following this woman. Now she says it's very cold where they were walking. It was cold and snowy, like all that barren heat that she just walked through disappeared, and now it was cold and snowy. and she said the snow was high and they had to walk through it, and she wasn't really having she didn't have much on that would keep her warm. So eventually they get to this, and there's a point here, please stay with me. This story was amazing. So they get to this little shack, and the leader, this lady, she goes, "Get in there," and everyone goes in, and they're sitting there, and the woman with it having the near death experience goes up to the leader and says, can can I get anything? I'm freezing, I'm cold. Is there anything that we have that can help make me warm?" And she goes, "Huh, it always feels like that here when it's Christmas up there." So profound, right? What we can do when we express this joy to each other. Christmas is the season of giving. So once the leader said that, it clicked in this woman's mind. Oh my gosh, I'm down there. And immediately she had the idea of, okay, I'm going to sing Christmas carols. So she started to sing one. And I forget the one. I think something about a baby in a manger or something like that. I don't know. But either way, it's irrelevant. Ultimately, what it was, by her singing, it was ultimately a prayer because she was singing about Jesus. Once she started to sing about Jesus, this leader immediately got mad and came over to her and went, "Wah!" And right as she did that, everything disappeared and she went into heaven as she kept singing about Jesus. The power of prayer. Now, in every near death experience, and as I said, I've been reading a ton. I bought a book specifically about people that have committed suicide and had near death experiences. And some of them went down there as well. And as they were down there, they heard voices, multiple people having different near death experiences down there have heard a voice, like an internal voice, like an inner knowing, say, "Pray to God, pray to God." And then, like, there's another guy, he had a near death experience. And I think I talked about him before. In a hospital, he was dying. And in this hospital, in real life, they didn't have a doctor that could help him. And he was in pain for like 12 hours straight, like excruciating. Ultimately, had a near death experience. He passed away. He had a near death experience. Obviously, he came back. So did the woman. As they were having the near death experience, this guy, he was confronted by, I believe it was two figures that said, "Follow us." And as he started to follow them, they were walking through the hospital. They started to talk about him in a negative sense. And then they started to fight him. So he was fighting them. They were fighting him. They started to, because he was like resistant. He's like, "Wait a second. Why are you talking about me? Like, that doesn't seem to be a good practice. You're doctors," he thought. Little did he know he was having his near death experience. But then all the rooms suddenly went away and it was just complete darkness. And they started to fight him. And he heard the voice, "Pray to God." Now, he said he didn't know how to pray. And that is why I'm bringing these stories up specifically. Because what is prayer? So ultimately, this guy was like, running through things in his mind, like what he thought. He was trying to remember a prayer for when he was a kid, and he couldn't. But ultimately, he just said, "All right, God, help me." And then, bam, it all shifted, and God came and saved him. So, but what is prayer? Prayer is any words, any word you can say to God. It doesn't matter. It's a conversation. I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to give you two personal stories to show you prayer and how powerful it is. And that if we say them every day, you build them into your conscious system, that it will not only raise your vibration, but it will allow them to come and help you more. And I've I told you guys in the beginning, I've channeled prayers about Jesus and Archangel Michael, and I will share both of them with you at the end of this podcast. But prayer is so important, and I'm providing these stories to show you two things. One, how powerful it is, that even when the guy down there thinks he has you, if you pray, you will be saved. It's all, you're good. It doesn't matter too about your religion and what practice you had. It doesn't matter what outside of that moment you did. If you pray to God, to the heavenly realm, you will be saved. But you must um step forth and do it. You know, that's part of the sacrifice. You have to begin to talk to God. And no doubt a lot of you are. But these stories that we're sharing here validate the importance and the power of it, of prayer. So I had one, I don't know if I ever told you guys this story. I had a situation before where middle of the night, it was something in my room. I could see it like I am looking at this door in front of me over here. I mean, it was clear as day, and it was a person, and they came up to me and they said, "Hello, Chris." And immediately I was like, it looked human, and but I didn't know them, and they were literally walking out of my bathroom coming to me. And I looked at them. Now, fear, you cannot fear. Fear is not an option here. You must believe. Again, power of prayer and knowing that you are always safe. Always open up that root chakra and ground your energy and know no matter what, you are always safe. You are always pray and you will be saved. That no, my experiences and the experiences that I just shared with you are validating that. There's a reason that I'm bringing them up, but you have to believe. And the power of belief in the prayer is also powerful, but the prayer itself will take care of everything. So, yeah, this being comes out of my bathroom, walks up to me and goes, "Hey, Chris." And I was like, "Are you dead?" Because it looked like a human, but it was the middle of the night. And I was very well aware that that person should not be in my room. And, I'm like, I'm very apprehensive, not scared, but apprehensive. Like, yeah, I don't trust you. And, so, it was like a female though. It was definitely female energy. And she goes, "Does it matter if I'm dead?" And I'm not answering that question. And she leaves the room, goes back into my bathroom, and she's like in the mirror, kind of like looking at herself. And I started to try to call in Jesus and Archangel Michael, and she blocked me. I couldn't talk those names. I could speak, but I couldn't say those names. Every time I said Jesus or tried to say Jesus, because I was trying to say Jesus, is she here for my highest or like just calling Jesus and Archangel Michael. And every time I did, I was like, get, or oh, or trying to call an Archangel Michael. Couldn't do it. And I didn't necessarily notice that I was getting blocked like that, but it I did notice. It took me a second, and like literally a second. But as she's in my bathroom and she's looking at me, like trying to get me to come and follow her. And I'm not. But then I was like, then I said to her, "Are you here for my highest and greatest good? And do you walk in God's light?" And which is a prayer, guys, that is a prayer because I am invoking God. I am invoking the light. I am invoking love. That's that's prayer and invoking all of this. And immediately, bam, everything breaks. She disappears. I can like when I saw her, all the lights in my room turned on. It was almost as if I was in a light bulb. It was so it was weird, but everything broke and everything went dark. And I heard, no, no, she's not here for my highest and greatest good. And I believe it was Archangel Michael who came in and swept it all away. As she was leaving, though, I heard, I'll be back. And and definitely I have this next story is another representation of that. So that's an amazing story though. But again, the power of prayer. And the more the more that you say a prayer in any way, the more that you talk to God, the more that you call to heaven and build that, the the more that it's ingrained into your being, into your essence, the more light and love is brought into your soul. And that is powerful, powerful. And at the end, after I share this next story, I want to read a little something to you guys that I channeled a few years ago. That is 6 pages of channeled messages from Archangel Michael at one time, where he came in and just laid out all this stuff. Such an amazing channel, but I want to share that with you guys after this one story, because I'm just trying to show you guys how important prayer is, and prayer to specific heavenly realm beings, calling them in for help and guidance, for peace, love, guidance, and healing. They are my intentions every time I channel, every time I pray. It is always about peace, love, healing, and guidance. So, this next story, as you know, the last one said that they would be back. Um, the next one, this was more of a dream. It's like it wasn't as vivid as the first one, but it was still very real, and I was still very aware. It was just a different type of visualization that I had. So, I mean, please understand why this happens to me too. I do a ton of light work for people. I do light work every single day on people, on locations, on uh honestly everything. I mean, I am every day in school, I am praying and asking God and Mother Mary and others to come in and help, to be the light, and to share that light with the children that I work with every day, every day. And I do make it a point to do that too, because it's so powerful. Prayer is so important, and we tend to forget it. We don't necessarily realize, because we're so wrapped up in this density, and we have to get out of that mindset of being trapped in that density, understanding that we are all learning. There's a reason everything is going on right now. There is a reason, and the reason is revelation. Revelation is happening right now. All of the density is being revealed to us right now as a result of years and years of prayers and years of frequency, vibrational growth, that, reincarnations and learned lessons. Like, that's all the density is being revealed right now, and we are experiencing that. This is a transitional period that we're going through right now. It's a beautiful time, but if you keep getting wrapped up in the potential ugliness of what's happening, of the revelations, of seeing all of it, like, because it can be overwhelming. We see all this density right in front of our faces, where things are just being taken from us, basically. And there's a lot that's happening around the world that is just, it doesn't, when it slaps you in the face, because we see it every day, you're like, man, how can we be optimistic? But you have to be, because God has a plan. You have to believe in that plan, have faith in it, and pray about it. What do you want to have happen as a result of this? We are very powerful here, and you cannot give up that power thinking that you don't have it. You can't get wrapped up in everything that's going on around us thinking that you are powerless. You are not. But what is your job? That's where people struggle. What is my job though? I can't, what can I do? I don't want to get in politics, or I don't want to become a whatever, but you do have a job, and your job is very important. And your job is to pray. That is your job, to be the light, to pray, to call in God, to live that loving perspective every day, to not judge, truly not judge the revelation that's happening, not judge everything that is being shown, on a daily basis in the news, to not judge that, to see violent acts happen and yet still feel peace in your heart, knowing that things are happening for a reason. That's a tough, very tough perspective. Yes, I understand it. But in the light, in love, it is why we are here. It is what we are intended to do, to grow from this. If we continue, and trust me, I'm going to back this up, guys, from this channeled message, this 6 pages worth from Archangel Michael, that I want to share with you again. I think I did years ago when I originally, but I want to share it again because it's so profound. But we are here to pray. We are here to be the light. Prayer is the speech, the triangle that we say all the time. The speech is the prayer. The action could be meditation, could be mindfulness, could be uh, an act of love that we do in any given day. Any act of love is powerful. But then have thoughts that are peaceful as well, you know. So anyway, let's get back to this story. Don't underestimate your power. You are powerful, and you guys are here for a reason. Truth. Okay, so anyway, back to this story. All right, so I'm in a house. Again, the vision is not as vivid as the first one, but it is clear. Um, I'm in a house, and all of a sudden I see, like, I'm in a hallway, and I see all these doors around me, and I see a kid. A real small child, sitting on a small bench talking to a statue. And he's like talking to the statue as if it's real, as if it's talking back. And all of a sudden, when I see that, everything kind of becomes darker. And then winds start blowing and doors start opening and shutting, and chaos just breaks out. And immediately I was like, oh, I know already that they're trying to scare me. And I kind of like it was funny in a sense, like, oh, okay, I get it. Okay, they're trying to scare me. This is nothing. And then, do you guys ever see the movie The Ring with that girl that comes out of the TV, the long hair, it's all wet, and she's wearing that white dressy robe thing? Okay, well, that type of girl starts walking out one of the rooms, and she walks right up next to me, and she has a skeleton that is walking with her behind her. And they walk right up to me, and I turned to her and I just went, no. And then I dropped to my knee and I started to pray. And then bam, it all went away. And literally, I don't even know the words that I was saying. All I remember was I said, "Dear God, Heavenly Father." That is all I remember saying. Other than that, I don't remember what other words I said. And when I dropped to my knee, I grabbed the little kid. I grabbed his hand and I prayed on him. And then boom, everything broke. The vision all went away. The girl went away. I heard nothing else. All shifted. The power of prayer. And I talked about this earlier, the root chakra, because so many people that I work with come to me and say, no, I'm scared, because I'm scared of what, like, if I become a medium or if I open up my gifts, I'm scared of what doors I'm going to be opening. You cannot Your prayer is so important. Your intentions are so powerful that is all irrelevant. I've had experiences, but I don't look at those experiences as something negative. They are beautiful experiences because what the heck they taught me? They taught me the power of prayer, the power of the light, of the love. You guys, in all these other situations, I've told you, as soon as they started to talk about God, start talking to God, everything broke. In every situation I have ever heard or read or experienced myself, as soon as God is brought up, as soon as light and love are discussed and talked about, density goes away. Density does not like your light. But if you continue to sit on the sidelines and you don't step into the playing field and start to be that light, then we are missing the point. Yes, you're still learning for sure. Your soul is learning that you need to get off the sidelines, come in and be that light. But be the light. What does that mean? It doesn't mean, it means follow your path. Yes, absolutely. Follow your path. But it also means those that are truly in, higher ascension, on that higher ascension role, understand that being what you are meant to be is really ultimately the link in the chain that we need. But this story sits with me a lot, and that is like, and I talked about this one last time too. We're not here to fight. Like, fight. How do you fight? Okay. Somebody that is truly ascending and truly understands the importance of and power of love. Okay. So this is talking to like you guys who are really, really starting to understand what is going on here from a spiritual perspective, what this earth is, school, this earth is school, and really rising above that perspective and understanding that we are in school and that really ultimately it is your soul that is the most important thing here. And to those of you that are truly beginning to believe that, how do we quote unquote like be what we're meant to be? Well, one obviously is you have to be love. You do not judge, do not criticize. And granted, like that, these are not easy. I'm in the same boat. Your truth is important. But then stop playing in the matrix as much. When what do I mean by that? I get it. We have houses that we need to maintain. We have cars that we need to have. To get around. We want to go to our restaurants every week, or we want to have whatever, uh earthly satisfactions that we want. Yeah, okay, I get all of that. But honestly, ultimately, we are to step back from that because sacrifice, remember, there are reasons that these podcasts flow the way they do, and that's because of their guidance. Sacrifice, like, we don't necessarily need all this, and giving up our needs, what we think we need, is part of this process. Again, this is to you guys that are like higher on the ascension path and really understand like the importance of all of this. Giving up, not playing, not engaging in the matrix, not to go into not necessarily having a two-story house that's like 2,000 square feet or more, but understanding that giving up and living humbly, living small is very powerful in your ascension process because you're giving up, and you don't need to go work for a corporation for 40 hours a week to live in a house that you're hardly ever at because you're working all the time. Those are important understandings to come to when you are high on the ascension process, or even if you're beginning. Ultimately, that might be where you go, to understand that you don't have to do these societal norms. You don't have to live in that societal norm. You can be different. You can do things differently. You don't have to play. But holding true to those beliefs and who you are, like not giving up who you are simply because someone else says you have to. If you don't feel the need to do something, because it's something that doesn't resonate with you, then you don't have to do that. And, that is how you resist, if you will, resist and grow in your spiritual sense. There's a lot there. And you and your light it's powerful. Your prayers are powerful. So pray to God, to whoever you want, and ask them for guidance on how to be loving, peaceful. Ask for their guidance and ask for their healing. And then sit back and allow for that to be revealed to you. And then trust in the answer when you receive it and take action towards it. Thank you. Now, I'm not done because I did say I wanted to tell you guys about this. So, all right, back in 2020, in March of, I'm sorry, 2021, I channeled a prayer from Archangel Michael. I'll read that prayer because, again, prayer is important. I am a being of light. I have chosen to accept my role as a light worker upon this realm and to be the true sense of light and love for which others can see the heavenly realm within. I am a being of light. I accept the true heavenly realm that lies within my heart space. I am light. I am love. That is powerful. Powerful. And that's the next one I will share with you is the Jesus prayer, which I try to say a lot. I'll be honest with you, I don't say it every day, but I do talk to God every day. The Jesus prayer. For we call upon you, the Heavenly Father, at this time to be one with us, to act in accordance with our divine selves, soul's purpose, and the light at which we bring to this realm. We ask you to provide that to us now and allow us to work in accordance with it, my dear Father of the heavenly realm. We thank you. You are the creator of heaven and earth, and we walk within your guidance and will. And we are pleased beings of divine light and divinity that are always willing to work through and with your guidance. We walk in your path with you next to us, always knowing that the light and love that is capable of being received by humanity is present within us right now. And we say, thank you, Heavenly Father, always. So that's a prayer that I try to say a few times a week at least. Profound. Now, listen, again, you don't have to remember that verbatim. Just understand the importance of them. Understand the importance of prayer and reaching out. But I did want to share this message that I channeled in November of 2020. It was a total of 6 pages, but I'm not going to read all 6 pages. I want to read just the highlighted portions of it. You know what? And actually, maybe I will share it with you guys. I'll share it on my screen so that you can see it. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So the aura expanding is something that is very imperative to the soul, allowing and encouraging more of the light. The growth of an aura is very important, for it will allow more light and love to be encompassing. As this happens, it will shed more of the density that resides not within the soul, but within the physical body. So, how does the aura expand? We pray, we bring in more light, we intentionally intend for light to begin to fill our soul. Pay very close attention to the light work you do and have the intent of bringing forth more light beings so that more work can be done in this realm. It is assisting us greatly, and we are greatly appreciative of the efforts you put forth. This is all of you we speak to at this time. And at the time that I channeled this, it was Brooke and I were doing the podcast. This discourse, they're talking about this realm, is very much an opportunity for the soul to grow and not to be one with the judgments that occur as a result of it. So we're seeing all, just like we said, we're seeing all this density around us every day. We cannot become one with it. And how do we become one with it? We start to engage with it. We start to act in that manner. So we have to be the light to break that cycle. Your souls are attempting to overcome such a discourse, not to engage with it, my children. We say this again. Do not engage with discourse. We ask you this in the name of love and in an effort to cease the completion of the circle of negativity. That's amazing. So, yeah, the circle, we want to break it and insert love into it. The circle of negativity, we want to infuse love into it and then reshape that circle into love. We cease it with love, and only through love will this be done. And we ask this in the name of God. We are grateful. So right there, Archangel Michael himself, when he says we ask this in the name of God, we are grateful, he is literally praying. He himself, Archangel Michael, is praying to God. That is mind-blowing, guys. That's how powerful it is, how powerful your intentions and your prayer are. But understand, your souls are learning much from the discord that is happening. And as a result of this, something that at times, okay. But understand, your souls are learning much from the discourse that is happening. And as a result, this is something that at times cannot be undone. Okay, so what he's saying there is that, okay, that yeah, all this revelation is happening right now, and you're seeing it, and it's hitting you. Even though you want it to stop, it can't, because you guys are learning. We are all learning from it. So, like, understand that, hey, sometimes you're going to pray for it to all go away, but we can't, because we got to learn. We are here. This is school. We're here to learn. All right. Then he goes on to talk about the expansion of your aura, and that is just bringing light into your soul, into your physical, and into your soul and into your physical body. Look not down upon those that disagree, for we are all putting in the effort to learn what we can here in this realm. And yes, even the archangel realm does learn. We are not all knowing, although we are all seeing. And there is quite a difference, my children, he says. So interesting, because our free will says that we can make decisions, and obviously he's saying the archangels cannot see all of your decisions, but they can, or they don't know all the decisions that you're going to make, but what they do see is the pathway of each potential decision that is possible. So We are assisting all those that are calling upon to rise above the density to be one with the light. And this too will allow for the aura to expand and for more work to be brought forth through these individuals to be assisted upon those that have not yet required the assistance. So basically what he's saying there is, if you pray and call us in, we can help more, which I know many of you already know that. So anyway, that is what I have for you today. Hopefully, you guys begin to understand how important prayer is. But again, there's no specific way to pray. It's all about calling in God, calling in beings of light, and having those like statements. Are you here for my highest and greatest good? Do you walk in God's light? That you can use on a repetitive basis if you are communicating with spirit, which here's another thing. We are all communicating with spirit. Communication with spirit happens naturally with all of us. It is just some of us choose to acknowledge it and some of us don't. But we're all getting it, regardless of whether or not you believe it or realize it, doesn't matter. Anyway, thank you all so much. I'm not going to channel today only because no, okay, maybe I am, because as I said that, they were like, nope, please channel. Okay. So I will. Grateful we are, my children, of peace and blessings. Be one with your light and truth. Acquiesce not to the density, but to your love. And we say this with great peace. Acquiesce to your light and love. Give in to the love and light within yourself. And ask yourself again what love and light is. It is acceptance. It is peace. It is beautiful. It is forgiveness. It is understanding that you are here to be one with the light and love, regardless of that which occurs around us. Archangel Michael speaking. It is time for humanity to begin to see the light and love that they have within themselves and the healing power that all possess. You are beings of such divine divinity, and we are grateful for you. You have all chosen to be here at this time to serve a great purpose, those that are ascending, even those that are not. But it's time for us to step forward as one, to be the light, the love for all, and we are grateful. Love is a state of mind, it's a state of being, and we encourage you all to be in this state, to understand that it is not resistance or the attempt to change another that will bring you peace, but rather the understanding that we all learn differently and at different times. And to be of the light at that moment requires one to be accepting, forgiving, and understanding. We encourage you all to grasp upon these concepts of acceptance, forgiveness, understanding, gratitude, and walk with them purely in your heart, to be one with them and live through them. These states of being are beautiful in importance and power of love. Love can and will change this realm in time, but it requires more individuals like yourselves to be one with these states of mind, and we are grateful. Enoch speaking. We are here with you, my children, and we are grateful. We call upon you all to acknowledge the love and light within yourself and the divine power that each of you carry. It is time for us to begin the act of ascension on an individual basis that will ultimately affect this realm. And we are grateful. There is truth that is being revealed. And should you so choose to look at truth as dense, we say to you now, we are missing the point. The point of the revelation is understanding. And from understanding, there is great truth being revealed. But truth not only of this realm, but also of the power at which you hold within you as an individual on a soul level with God. And we are grateful. You are all beings of the Creator, our Heavenly Father above. And we say to you now, call to Him, my children, and be one with Him, to love all, to accept all, and to be of peace in your mind, your heart, to feel that peace and to live it, to be it. And we are grateful. There is no need or cause for one to engage in the discourse any longer, but find peace in your own being. And we are grateful. Thank you, my children. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a great day, and I will see you again soon.